Yeah, Oklahoma done got sideways on everybody in recruiting now. Everybody. I'll try to do some variety, but I can't help it, man. When this kind of stuff happens, man, this kind of splash is being made by first-year coach that wasn't supposed to be able to recruit to Oklahoma, according to all those USC skittle shooters out there, especially Colin Cowherd or Cowturd or Coward or whatever you want to call him these days. Why ain't you talking about it? I mean, all them USC skittle shooters now, oh, we wasn't talking about Oklahoma. You couldn't recruit to Oklahoma. We was just saying that USC was going to out-recruit them. Yeah. No, y'all not backtracking now. No, it's too late for that. Like I told y'all a few weeks ago, it's too late now, man. You knocked the damn hornet's nest down. Now your ass fixing to get stung. And Colin, why ain't you doing any shows on this? The great recruiting of a first-year coach. Why ain't you talking about it, Colin? Well, guess what, Colin? We're going to talk about it. The home of the Common Joe and the Common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Damn. Yeah, that was a good day for the Oklahoma Sooners yesterday. Not only did they come in here and get Anthony Evans, a 4-star wide receiver, but then they landed Makari Vickers, a guy that they thought was destined for Alabama. But before we get to all that, I'd just like to let you know that I am still the OCF, that's the Outlaw of College Football. I'm also known as JPC. I can be found on Twitter at OCF Productions, and I'm on Facebook under Jesse Paul Clark if you want to holler at me on there. Jesse, by the way, is spelled Jesse, not Jesse. People try to misspell my name. Now, getting to the meat of it here, Brent Venables and his staff with Jeff Levy, Jay Valai, Todd Bates, the list goes on, have pulled off a double whammy yesterday. They went out at first, they got Anthony Evans. Got some notes here. Oh, this is going to be on the good list, but there is a couple at the end that might be on the bad list. Anthony Evans is a 4-star wide receiver. He was the number 45 receiver in all of America, 5'11", 165 pounds, 10.27 in the 100 meters dash. In layman terms, that means that mug can fly. And then, at the end of the day, he saved the best for last. Went and got Makari Vickers, 6'1", 190-pound safety from the state of Florida. That's the 4th player that Brent Venables has got from the state of Florida. Now, I was under the impression that someone was saying that, and I hate to keep expounding on this, but didn't someone say something about he couldn't recruit outside the state of Oklahoma and Texas? That Texas might be the only state that Brent Venables could recruit from? He's shooting that down every day. And it should have been something that was obvious and something that shouldn't have been said, considering Brent Venables has a long history at Clemson and has connections in the state of Florida, not to mention all up and down the East Coast in North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, and all those states. So now, all of a sudden, everybody's surprised. And I ain't going to lie to you. Now, I'm surprised that they've gotten into the top 5 now. They're at number 4 in the latest rankings. And they're only a point behind Notre Dame, who's 3rd. And they're only 2 points behind Texas at number 2. So at the end of the day, at the end of this recruiting cycle, you might have both Crimson Nations at the top of the heap. Because you know why? Because Crimson Nations rule. We're passionate, baby. We bring the heat. Other than Harvard, because you know how I feel about Harvard. They're a bunch of elitist bastards. But anyway, getting back to it here. By the way, Jackson Arnold had an extraordinary game from what I heard the other day. I ain't got his stats in front of me, but he had an extraordinary game as well. And see, all the hullabaloo was about Brent Venables. He's a great defensive mind. He's going to be able to recruit defensive players, blah, 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 blah. And then they brings in this staff, Jeff Levy, DeMarco Murray, among others. Jeff Lebby was a protege of Lane Kiffin and of Josh Heupel, two great offensive minds. So what Brent Venables did is he did what all great coaches do. All coaches that have the potential to be great. They know how to delegate. They know how to hire a staff to make themselves better. They know how to CEO this stuff out when they need to. And then they know how to get in there and get hands-on and show a human side. Like Makari Vickers alluded to, that Brent Venables in Oklahoma felt like real family. There were a lot of coaches talk that, game about being a family and caring, but Brent Venables goes above and beyond with initiatives that he created with the Soul program at Oklahoma, where former Oklahoma players mentor these guys. That shows that you actually care, that you're able to bring in former players. And a lot of coaches get emasculated by that. And they're sort of scared to bring in former players because they're afraid they're going to meddle and try to, emasculate and boss them around a little bit. Brent Venables has no issues with that. He has no emasculation. He has no self-esteem issues. He's confident in his own skin, unlike somebody else. That being that old Tebow, old lanky boy out there in Skittle Shitter land. Speaking of which, rumor has it that Malachi Nelson, the top quarterback in America, is committed to USC, and Zachariah Branch, the wide receiver that committed, on the premise that he plays with Malachi Nelson. Rumor has it, Malachi Nelson, just the other day, was on Texas A&M campus walking around with a Texas A&M uniform on. Now, he's already been down there to visit. Why is he back a second time? Rumor has it, in a couple of days. Now, this may not happen. This may not come to fruition. So I'm not going to say 100% sure. But in a couple of days, rumor has it that he's going to decommit from USC. And then Zachariah Branch is going to follow suit. And they're both going to go to Texas A&M. Which ain't really good news for me, because they're going to be in the conference with us. And they're going to be playing against my team, Alabama. So, that's not something that I'm gleefully happy about. But I'm just saying that if they lose those two players, USC is going to slip right up out of the top 20. And they're going to be singing that song again to them. Slip sliding away. Slip sliding away. The Skittle Shitters in L.A. are slip sliding away. Y'all slipping right out of the top 20. And all that talk about, we was just talking about we was going to finish better in Oklahoma. It don't even look like that's going to happen. Because if y'all slip out of the top 20, even at this point, even if y'all come back and finish ahead of Oklahoma, let's say Oklahoma finishes 7th in the recruiting at the end of the recruiting cycle, and y'all finish 6th, it still makes y'all look bad, because y'all said, and Lincoln Riley said, and Colin Cowturd said, you can't recruit to Oklahoma. There's nothing to do there. It's too small a city. What y'all don't realize is the whole time Lincoln Riley was at Oklahoma, he did not have a top 5 class, not one time. And that's why he says you can't recruit to Oklahoma, because he couldn't recruit to Oklahoma. Bob Stoops didn't have a problem recruiting to Oklahoma. Barry Switzer didn't have a problem recruiting to Oklahoma. So, and you can go on back to Bud Wilkinson, didn't have a problem recruiting to Oklahoma. They've been recruiting to Oklahoma for 100 plus years. So now all of a sudden everybody's surprised. Well, not only are they surprised, but even the most ardent supporters of the Sooners were surprised. Because nobody had an inkling or an idea that Brent Venables was coming in here not just to come in and learn and try to do decent his first couple of years. He's coming here with the mindset of, I want to win now. And if I don't win now, well, at least I'm trying to win now. I'm not settling for second best. And that's all I got to say about that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you don't mind, there's a little heart down there. Throw a few dollars in the coffers. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams, class is now dismissed.